Because, look, we spent literally thousands of years adapting to the biological reality that our brains, well, they forget things. But what happens when the digital entities working right alongside us literally never do? We're skipping the usual tech updates today to dive into a massive fundamental shift in human psychology. Seriously, think about it. What happens to your mind when your AI remembers way more about your workflows, your decisions, and even your past mistakes than you actually do? We are completely past the era of blank slate chatbots. Handing our memory over to machines, that completely changes the psychological stakes of who we are. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the end of human forgetting and this massive shift in our cognitive load. See, human memory is beautiful, sure, but it is terrible for raw productivity. It fades, it gets emotional, and let's be real, we completely forget why we just walked into a room. On the flip side, agent memory, like the open source project Claude Mem, captures absolutely everything. It compresses data perfectly and then injects that exact context right back into future sessions. It literally never has a bad day. So, if the AI swarm working for you remembers absolutely everything, what happens to human decision-making? If we just completely outsource our cognitive recall, our whole identity as knowledge workers enters a bit of an existential crisis, right? Now, what's really interesting to unpack next is Section 2, introducing the meta-harness and the Ruflo project. These memory networks are organized by something called a meta-harness, like the leading open-source project Ruflo. Think of it as this invisible, hyper-competent middle manager. It doesn't just run one AI, it deploys these intelligent multiplayer swarms that actively collaborate while you just sit back and observe. And this isn't some distant sci-fi future. The silent, massive scale of developer adoption is already here. Ruflo has nearly 63,000 stars on GitHub, ClaudeMem has over 85,000, and ECC, which optimizes these swarms, is sitting at over 225,000. This architecture, it is already fully built. Which brings us to Section 3, AI with persistent memory, or what is essentially an artificial hippocampus. These systems capture every single keystroke you make, compress that data, and seamlessly inject it into all future tasks. But the real breakthrough here is that systems like ECC are giving agents actual instincts. The AI actively self-learns how to optimize its behavior based on past experiences. It is literally developing a synthetic intuition over time. And this brilliantly illustrates Section 4, autonomous swarm decision-making, showing multiplayer AI in action. Here is how this invisible workflow actually goes down. First, you provide a single, broad human prompt. Next, the meta-harness instantly delegates specialized tasks to its agents. Those agents then share their persistent memory seamlessly. And finally, they autonomously execute the entire goal completely behind the scenes. You barely have to lift a finger. So the crucial point is Section 5. Let's talk about the psychological human impact and this massive shift in our trust and attention. Our cognitive load is radically shifting right now. We are moving aggressively from actively doing things to just overseeing them. You're no longer executing all those granular details. Instead, your mental energy is spent just trusting and auditing highly autonomous entities. And honestly, handing over that much control, it triggers some deep, deep anxiety about what our actual value is. Which leads perfectly into Section 6. Who is actually thinking? The future of human identity. When your artificial swarm forms its own instincts, remembers perfectly, and executes these massive collaborative workflows entirely on its own, what is your true cognitive role anymore? Are you still the creator? Or are you simply becoming a spectator of your own artificial output? Adapt your mind. Rethink your workflows, because at the end of the day, the true challenge isn't the technology at all. It's whether human psychology can actually keep up.